The ROUSes continue their summer loop of the Southwest this week.
And we discover that Santa Fe is actually a tiny planet filled with trees. Interesting.
No, that's just confusing video editing.
Whatever. Anyway, we're John and Tandy, two retirees who are hiking, paddling, and eating their way across America, one tiny planet at a time. Come join us on our road trips of unusual size.
Well, if you remember from our last episode, we were on a tour of New Mexico and West Texas that we've named the Summer Loop. We've made it to northern New Mexico and are really enjoying the cool weather.
We'll spend about a month and a half in this area and we'll try to film some of the natural beauty here. We're currently in Santa Fe, and this is the first of a two-parter on this picturesque place.
As part of our summer adventure, we bagged a couple of summer volunteer jobs at Glorieta Adventure Camps just outside Santa Fe. This Glorieta camp has been providing wholesome rest and recreation for families for many decades. The property, activities, and facilities are remarkable. For our volunteer stint, John spent most of his time driving a camp van, while I spent my time in the kitchen, helping to feed thousands of happy, hungry campers.
The staff and guests were fun to hang out with, and everyone seemed to have a great time. If you're interested in taking your group to someplace pretty for a gathering or retreat, consider Glorieta. And families, check out their summer family camp program.
Here's a little hike that we took on the Glorieta property. We had a day off and decided to climb to Glorieta Lookout for a good look at the area.
It was a picturesque hike, and the views from the top were pretty amazing. We can't wait to return here next year. And a few days later, we drove an hour north to visit the famed Ghost Ranch in Abiquiu.
We're coming to you today from one of our favorite places, the Ghost Ranch in northern New Mexico.
Yeah, it's in a town called Abiquiu. It is one of our all-time favorite places. This is not our first time here. Every time we are in New Mexico, we find a reason to get up to Abiquiu, which is north of Santa Fe, to come to this amazing place. This is a somewhat famous place. A lot of movies were filmed here. City Slickers, The Young Guns, a lot of movies you've probably seen at one point were filmed here. But more importantly, most of Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings, she painted those here. Her most important paintings she painted here. We've done a landscape tour here in the past, and it's amazing seeing all these sites. So we'll show you some video of it. It will not do it justice. You have to come here and see it yourself in person just to have any feel for what this place is like. So glad you could be here with us today. We're very excited. Again, we always try to come back here whenever we can.
And the memory of Georgia O'Keeffe's work here is always present. Here's a look at some of the work she produced in these hills.
Between Santa Fe and Glorieta is the location of the Civil War's Battle of Glorieta Pass. Because of its importance, it's often referred to as the Gettysburg of the West. In 1862, 400 Confederate soldiers from Texas moved up the Santa Fe Trail in an attempt to separate New Mexico from Union forces. The two armies met at Glorieta Pass and fought a fierce battle over 3 days.
Interestingly, 2 of my ancestors fought in this battle, and we were able to have a great conversation with the park staff about this. Read up on this interesting part of our nation's history. Just down the road from the Santa Fe and Glorieta Pass is the community of Pecos, and this is the home of the Pecos National Historic Park. This park not only manages the Glorieta Pass battlefield, but also protects and preserves the ancestral site of the Pecos Pueblo and an historic Spanish mission church.
The Pueblo was heavily populated in the early 1600s, and the church was built in the early 1700s. Archaeologists and conservationists have been working to preserve and restore these sites for over 100 years. In a moment, you'll see an on-site preservation team as they work on an adobe wall. What's next? Well, watch for part 2 of this episode to come out next week. We'll show you some of the beauty and diversity of Santa Fe's natural environment.
A dramatic environmental contrast takes place within a 25-mile radius of Santa Fe and is something that you'll want to see.
Join us again next week.